Y'all, let me tell you that I feel so ashamed that I forgot about continuing with Romance Club. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video of mine. This time I'm back with Heaven's Secret Requiem Season 3, Episode 3. It's been, I think, over a month since I continued with these stories, and let me tell you, it's been so bad lately, like working, then studying for exams, then studying for my driver's license. It's been so bad. I've been working on myself a lot lately, doing a lot of reflections. The family drama has been continuing on the long run. Like, I was then prioritizing some other projects on YouTube, so this one fell behind. And let me tell you, I did not forget about the story. It's just been a lot of pressure time. Like, I've been sleeping a lot lately because I feel so drained. And I'm here though, and I will try to recover what I've been missing. Please let me know in the comments which story you want me to react to first. I mean, I started now with Heaven's Secret Requiem, but tell me if you want me then to continue with Estrella's Broken Heart or Song of the Crimson Nile, or if there's a new story that you want me to react to, that you want my input on. Let me know in the comments, but let's just see what this episode will be like. Donovan's move, right. I think it's also been a month since I've been on this app. Like, this is so shameful considering the fact of how much I love these stories. Episode 3, a normal human. What? Oh my god, look at this. Most of the time I felt bored. But sometimes the emotion was dulled by others. For example, fleeting moments of interest, during which I had time to idolize an object of admiration and just to quickly cast it into nothingness. Is this the view from the guy that we've seen? Like, the one that we think is an angel? And then came the usual long, gray days that dragged on, filled with disgust and longing. The fuck? Is this actually what he looks like, or is this just, like, so that we can't see the face? Ugh, it's gross out. This weather's awful. It's amazing how after a year of being together, you still don't remember that I love the rain. Alright, so this is someone from our past, okay. This is actually hilarious, though. I love the rain too, by the way. In one of those moments when I was on a high, Andrew and I got together. It happened almost by chance. He initiated, and I simply agreed. And then I had to live with that decision. Damn. We did have some toxicness in our past, and I would assume that this is supposed to show that it wasn't just our parents. Andrew walked ahead. He was constantly picking up the pace, repeatedly leaving me without an umbrella over my head. It was irritating. No, I would have smacked the shit out of him, like, you either get me an umbrella or you adapt to my pace. Like, your legs are longer, sir. Let's make spaghetti for dinner. We still have some tomatoes left, right? I don't want spaghetti. I only eat it because you always do. And I don't want to cook. As always, you'll just sit on your phone while I do everything else. Damn, so literally. He wanted a housewife. Yeah. Andrew abruptly turned around. Drops from the umbrella splashed me wet, my hair, face, and clothes. Damn. Why is so quiet? It feels like I'm talking to myself. Sir, apparently you like talking to yourself, because if you've been dating for a year and you still don't see that there are a lot of things that she don't know, like things that she doesn't do, and you're kind of forcing it onto her because it's what you do, you're not trying to see her point, you're not trying to do more things that she likes, then you are in the wrong relationship, sir. You arrive at a point where you just feel that talking and explaining your side of things is just a waste of breath and energy, so you just remain silent. Spaghetti it is. He shook his head and walked on. I stared at his back while I wiped away the rain in my eyes, and I suddenly thought, it's been a long time since I enjoyed talking to you. You have an ugly chin, that dimple is stupid, and you've been annoying me for a while now. Then tell him that. It was strange how I hadn't realized that before. I can end this. Stop the suffering. That thought felt like being released from prison, filled with a new sense of liberation I didn't notice when I overtook him. So, Zamona, maybe tonight we can go to bed a little earlier, play some music, and... No. I had to turn to face him. His voice stirred an unpleasant feeling inside me, cutting short the wings that had just begun to spread. This man was suggesting having sex. I am done. With an indifferent tone, I said, let's break up. Period. Bye. He froze in place and I stopped too. It seemed like I needed to say something more. Explain briefly. Not starting... No, honestly, normally I would be like for the gym option, but he's a piece of trash. Why the fuck would I want to explain? If you don't realize that our relationship has been going down south for a while now, then my apologies. Like, it doesn't even seem that this man was willing to take initiative to be like, when we first met, you've always been open for change. You've always been open for suggestions. And now all of a sudden I see that you keep on closing yourself off from the world, from me. Why is that? What is going on? Nothing. He thought that her behavior is normal. No, I'm not starting an unnecessary conversation. Like, it's not like he's actually gonna listen, is he? The few peasantries walked around us, clicking their tongues in disapproval. Most of the umbrella was covering Andrew as the rain soaked my back completely. My patience was gone. Looking around, I headed toward the road where cars were parked. Is that it? You're just going to walk away like this? What? Did you want to add something? Goodbye, Andrew. Me? Knocking on the window of a parked taxi, I got inside and gave the driver my address. The car started moving. Staring out the window, I recalled how much anguish, how many tears Andrew had cost me. I was finally rid of him. Were you, though? I don't know if he was toxic or not, girl. At the beginning of our relationship, I had thought that if we ever broke up, I wouldn't be able to go on. But at that moment, he was no more important to me than a rotten tomato on a sale at the supermarket. When you first go into any sort of relationship, whether it's friendship or romantic relationship, I mean, I hope that's not the case, but when you first meet someone, you don't know who they truly are on the inside. The real character will show over time. When you go through hardships together, they show how a person truly deals with negativity. And if they start to use that negativity, and instead of actually trying to get rid of the frustration or in general the negativity in a healthy way, and they start to lash out at you personally, then they are toxic and they are the ones that need to be gotten rid of. The view outside slowly changed and I started feeling drowsy. Deciding I deserved some rest, I closed my eyes and opened them in a familiar place. The dark corridor again. Still the same old filthy place. Were we imagining this or did we see it? Looking around with disdain, I noticed something new. The last door was ajar. It exuded darkness and cold. From inside, rustling sounds began to emerge, followed by a faint, joyful whisper. You have rejected emotions. Say farewell to the last one. Forget forever. From the gap in the door, a shadowy figure leaped out, the same one I had seen in my memories of my parents. Shut up, you're babbling and annoying. Ooh! The ghostly voice chuckled, and the shadow darted along the wall, merging with my own. Forget. Clicking my tongue in irritation, I grabbed the moving darkness and shoved it against the wall to silence it. There was a sharp splash as the shadow burst in my hands, leaving only a smeared blood on the wall. Wiping my hands on my clothes in disgust, I heard the door with the skull creak slightly open. Curiosity pushed me forward. Something from the darkness was beaconing, luring me in. There is a saying, my good sis. Darkness has never been so alluring, has it? Moving slowly as if wading through solidified jelly, I finally reached the gap the darkness was seeping from. Pushing the door open, I peered inside. What I saw made my eyes widen. Before me was Adam's cracked ceiling. I had dreamt about my ex-boyfriend? What could be worse? That your current boyfriend is gone for good? Other than him, I had no one. Only a fleeting crush at the base where I felt more like an observer than a participant. But the memory of that woman has faded from my memory. She remains only a hazy dream. So it's not surprising that my brain decided to remind me only of him. In the darkness, I saw red eyes watching me closely. My babe is still here. He's still here. If you're not backing away, then everything's fine for now. I didn't remember anything new. I just dreamt about the past. You're referring your brows like you wanted to kill someone. What was so unpleasant about your past? Certain people. No comment. He smiled. My response amused him. He would know. A few shouts came from outside. I heard a disgruntled sigh nearby. It seemed I wasn't the only one woken up against my will. How long had there been people standing outside the windows? Huh? Try to humanity. Let her leave the book and go away instead of making things worse. Right. I forgot. These bitch asses think that we're responsible for all these dark figures coming here and destroying the base. Apparently, Gabe chose to ignore me. Well, I warned him. I doubt it was beyond his power to quell people's anger or redirect it. The crowd was suddenly interrupted by several authoritative voices. It's forbidden to be outside the base at night. The spawn attacks are getting more frequent. Do you all have a death wish? And enough with the nonsense. It's not up to you. It's the professor who decides who does what. If you don't want to end up in solitary confinement, don't come back here. Woohoo! Grumbling with discontent, the crowd dispersed, and soon everything fell silent. There were never patrols near my room before, but now there are 2 guards at once. That's strange. The Donovan increased the base security. She never does anything without a reason, so there must be someone. Yeah. She said she realized something last episode, but I don't remember if she actually said it out loud what it was. I pondered over what someone in the crowd had said. Leave the book here and go? Even if they managed to force me out, everything would be fine so as long as I had the translation in my notebook. I don't want to mention just yet that a significant part of the translation is complete. First, I need to understand what's really going on. The approximate location of the gates is clear. The spear is now at the base too, but the chosen one, there's no additional information about him. Maybe it's whoever passes through the gates with the spear. I need to reread everything. Pulling myself out from under the covers, I sat down at the desk and opened the book. I went through the instructions once again. A false prophet shall come to earth, the Antichrist. A new God will rise among men. A foreign religion will appear. The world will await the chosen one. Thanks to Gabe's efforts, I'm not far from sharing the chosen one's fate. People either pray for a successful translation or want to hang me, blaming me for all evils. The radio crackled, filling the room with the nervous voice of the soldier on duty. The spawn broke through the Astonbury again. We can't hold them. We need reinforcements. With almost all the traps set around the base broken, the monsters' raids were becoming more frequent and chaotic. The endless night concealed their dark figures, making it impossible to spot them until the last second. Shane stretched indifferently and flexed his wing. Love it. No one knows that he's back at the base yet. Oh, thank goodness. He said, fuck everyone else. I want to be with my girlfriend. I fucking love this. He's like, fuck you. I disappeared for so many days, and besides the fact that people were worried about me and asking about my whereabouts so that I could help defeat everyone instead of leaving me be. they wouldn't have given a damn about me, so I'm just gonna stay here. After a while, I heard a commotion and soldiers' voices from the corridor. There was a knock on the door. A bad feeling made my heart clench. A young soldier stood in the aisle, keeping the crack small enough so that he couldn't glance inside the room. I stared at him. Not the hand. The professor said you should be ready to see her today. Bring the book with you. When she's ready, she'll send for you, so don't wander off. Why? Does she need something specific? If only we knew why we get summoned. The soldier rubbed a red mark on his cheek awkwardly. Be careful, Donovan is in a bad mood. No news has come from the intel mission about the outbreak or the other cities. It looks like they were all wiped out. Closing the door behind him, I returned to the desk. CAIN was still lying on the bed. I can't. His gaze silently drilling into mine. Something tells me this will be a difficult conversation. There were guards at my window today. The other post is almost always in another wing. Now soldiers have come by despite the fact that Spawn are attacking the base and the guards need help. What about the shouts of that angry crowd this morning? The professor encourages a gape. She's not stupid. She knew exactly where it will lead. Donovan skillfully manipulates the masses. She needs people to be against me. Maybe she is irritated that her plans with the book depend on a woman who appeared out of nowhere. It would be in her nature to put me on a leash right away. She has let me roam freely for too long. Maybe she was focused on something else. Could she really have something more important than the book? I can't. CAIN, stop being like this. I can't concentrate. I love watching you think. Raising an eyebrow, I continued my train of thought. You have strong reasons to believe that Donovan hasn't abandoned her project. For example, Adam, her creation. And now that it's done, she's ready to deal with me. Flipping quickly through the translation notes, I put the notebook into my backpack. The Book of the Apocalypse followed right after. Donovan might start restricting my freedom. Oh, heck no. You don't get along with the squad. Then I should stay even farther away from them. They all answer to the professor and will report my every move to her. Of all of them, CAIN is the only one not tied to Donovan or the base. He only cares about translating the book, and it seems like he'd do anything for that result. I looked at CAIN. His perfect features were hidden in the darkness. Sensing that I needed him, he moved closer to the edge of the bed. I'm so sorry. I mean, what a man! At this point, that's the only thing I can say about CAIN. What a fucking man! That's my man, folks. Get yourself a man. You look lost. I suddenly wanted to disappear into his embrace, away from the rest of the world. Reaching out to him, I sat down beside him. As usual, CAIN smelled nearly like fresh frost. Burying my face in his ashen hair, I felt his grip tighten around me. You are my sin. I am dying. CAIN, do not tempt me. It's the beginning of the episode. He said it faintly as if he didn't want anyone else to hear. I wouldn't understand, so, well. After sitting there for a while, I pulled away. There was something I needed to do before meeting with Donovan. Honestly, this is also a nice way of saying what you feel the need to say out loud in order to push yourself out of the state of denial without actually getting a response out of the person that you want to say it to. Because if you speak in a language I don't understand, you can say whatever the hell you want, like, I don't know, I don't understand, but you do. And it will still have an impact on you because in your eyes, you still said it to me. Or you still said it to them, like to the person that you want it to reach. So I want to find Anna. She should be feeling better by now. I need to find out if her research has produced any results. I placed my hand over the scar that had been bothering me. What? That had been bothering me. Then I stood up and walked to the wardrobe to change. Yeah, I'm not gonna pay for shit. Forget it. I think she looks cute either way. Like, fixing my hair, I thought about one more detail I needed to consider if I wanted to be prepared for any turn of events. The spear of Longizuin is with Donovan now. She tossed it into storage like some trinket in the warehouse that was heavily damaged. I need to retrieve it and keep it close. The book isn't as important without it. I knew I shouldn't have given it to her. I should have kept the spear a secret, but I was too tired to think straight. Can you help me? I looked at CAIN pleadingly. Of course. What do you need? Y'all, it's the blushing for me. I need to quietly take the spear that we found at the mansion. It's at the warehouse now. Alright, that's not difficult. Oh, why? I have reasons to be concerned, and you can share them with him? But that's not all. The spear shouldn't stay at Adam. It's too dangerous. Can you hide it in that cathedral where you left me? I'll do as you say. He just has a lot of faith in her. Like, I would be questioning things. Like, you want something from me, you need to show me that you have faith in me. Like, you have faith in me in order to take it and to store it somewhere. But you don't have enough faith in me in order to tell me why you want me to do it. Suddenly, the memory of that strange angel I had encountered the day before surfaced. I saw an immortal. His white wings were tattered. He was dressed in a hospital gown, and he had a scar under his eye. Ooh. Jealousy. We love to see CAIN like this, honestly. There shouldn't be anyone like that here. Did he do anything to you? What did he want? Immediately pestering her with a lot of questions. I don't know, he didn't touch me, but I think he recognized me, or mistook me for someone else. His train of thought was hard to follow. A scar under the eye. We don't get those very often. If you see him again, notify the others over the radio, and I'll hear too. I'll try. Hold on, does that mean that he's gonna tell everyone that he's back? Please don't tell me he's gonna say that he's back, because this is supposed to be my guilty pleasure. The weather had taken a sharp turn for the worse. The dark sky was covered with clouds. Dry wind rattled the trees, and flurries of snow scattered across the square. Frost patterns spread over the windows, and the stone walls were covered in rime. In some places, withered grass was still visible. Adjusting my back, I casually glanced back. 2 soldiers had been tailing me ever since I left my room, keeping their distance. Let them follow. There is nothing unusual about me visiting Anna. She wasn't in her old room, nor in the women's dormitory. Returning to the square, I scanned the base once more. A burst of automatic gunfire came from the eastern wing. The battle against the abominations wasn't over yet. A few guards stood by the main entrance. She might have gone where they were. Hey, have you seen a brunette with glasses? Slim, walks fast, looks slightly arrogant. Damn it, Anna. She should be in the infirmary. Thanking the guard, I found out the quickest way to get to where I needed to be. As soon as I stepped inside, the smell of alcohol and mold hit me. The small annex behind the main base was almost half sunk underground. It was sinking and it was hot, created by an unpleasant greenhouse effect. The steps leading down to it were uneven, each one seemingly added as the infirmary sank deeper. It looks like they kept extending it as the building gets farther underground. Passing by the beds of the wounded, I headed to the very back where the medical office should be. Opening one of the doors, I stepped into a room with several more beds. Most of them were empty. A woman walked in. Say hello. You're right from here. The doctor's hands were sitting on Lester's bed. Nearby, I saw the mother and her children we had rescued during the mansion raid. I'm weak. Hans, don't try to force yourself with English, sir. Well, that's something at least. Hans grumpily flipped through a traveler's phrase book. Oh my god. Well, I've never heard any of you complain when I read it in German, so... Nicht der Sensenmann.
Hätte ich bloß endlich mit jemand außer dir zu reden. Wo steckt denn der Junge, der wie ein Sensenmann aussieht?
And it's wrongly spelled. There's something missing. But no matter, from what we know, they're gonna translate it on their own. But it's hilarious that they added the German in this. What did I say? I want to talk soon to someone other than you. Where's that kid who looks like the Grim Reaper? Period. The Reaper. Now that's the Reaper. And they translated it a little wrong too, but it's fine.
Simona, what brings you here? Do you want to brush up on your English too? I'm weak.
You don't get along with the squad and don't care about Lester's fate. Damn. How, though? From what I know, we've always taken a good choices with the squad. Have you seen Anna? I have the feeling it's because we're extremely stubborn. Being on the determination path. I think it's the determination path. One of the children started fussing, making the doctor and Hans turn around. I glanced at the bottles of the antiseptic and bandages beside them. Take them? Oh, take a few. The fuck? I don't care. I discreetly swept a couple into my backpack.
The kids are tired of being cooped up inside. Let them get some fresh air. Hans, take them outside. Just don't forget to wash your hands. Here, take these, just in case.
He handed the last antiseptic bottle to those leaving.
She's in my office, and if she's moved even one of the medications.
Looking at me, the doctor cleared his throat and nodded toward the door.
Through here.
Anna turned around in surprise. She was sitting at the desk studying her notes. Oh, I like her outfit.
Simona?
I see you're feeling better.
Yeah, I finally managed to get up from the terrible, soft, ridiculous, comfortable bed. And how's your progress with the book?
Almost done. Stuck in the same places.
But you haven't even translated a single page.
Well, maybe just one. Raising an eyebrow, she gave me a probing look and then turned away, deciding not to press the issue. And how's your research?
I'm ready to hang myself.
What's wrong?
I can fully study the fats again. All I know is that extremely small doses don't make a person infected.
And my scar? Is it dangerous?
Depends on how you handle it. If you cut into it, the black blood will enter your system. If you leave it alone, it'll probably be fine.
So I shouldn't touch it.
Just don't mess around with fringes anymore. It could be dangerous. We'll find a proper way to get it out of you.
Taking a syringe filled with dark liquid from her coat, she angrily tossed it on the desk.
But how? How am I supposed to study the fent again? Through sheer willpower and province? We don't have any proper equipment left. It's ridiculous that such a large base has nothing useful.
I love it. Wearily, she held her head, resting her elbows on the desk. She closed her eyes and massaged her temples. The sleeve of her hospital gown had slid up, exposing a small pink mark on her arm. It had grown redder since last time. It looked like Anna had injected herself in the same spot again. From the way she looked and acted, she must have injected herself with the Fentogen again. I'm not imagining things, am I? Glancing over the desk, trying to find something to steer the conversation in the direction I needed, I noticed the second syringe was missing. The one with Portia's blood. The other was taken from me. Anna, can I see the second syringe? I'd like to compare them. She froze.
I left it in my room. I can't carry everything around with me. Besides, I needed it for research. There's almost nothing left in it.
So did you leave it in your room because you were afraid of losing it, or is it already empty because you've been studying it?
Well, if there's little left, so I'm saving it. Why?
Anna pulled herself together just in time, merging both excuses into one, but it was too late. She lied, and her shaky response made it very obvious. Path of Devil's Whisper. I put on a sad expression and trying to manipulate her. Anna, you can't do this. You'll destroy yourself.
What? No, I know what I'm doing.
You're willing to go far in the name of research, but I think this is something you should tell the others about.
No, Simona, they'll take everything from me immediately.
I pretended to hesitate, seeing my uncertainty, and I took my hands trying to pressure me.
Say, nothing serious has happened to me. I feel a little unwell, but I'll pass. There's no need to panic.
This is something that I always say to people. If you have the feeling that you're not doing anything wrong, why can't you tell someone else? Because you know what you're doing is wrong and you know there could be serious consequences. We deep down have a feeling that what we're doing is too much for us, or we have the feeling that it will have a bad influence on us in the future. So when someone calls us out on our bullshit, we get extremely nervous, agitated, frustrated, because we're like, yeah, you wouldn't understand. No, I do understand. But you're still on the wrong. And you deep down know. That's why you get even more agitated, because you're like, great, so another person realized that I'm delusional.
Simona, please don't tell anyone about the experiments.
I don't know, Anna. This is also strange. You in the blood of those abominations. Can we really trust you? Anna kept holding my hands in hers. I looked down at her with an almost amused condescension. Toying with her was incredibly entertaining. What is wrong with me? Like, what's wrong with my character? Please tell me in the comments what you had, because, y'all, honestly, I don't think I've ever been scared of my own character, but the darkness that she's pulling with her moves is something I didn't know that I didn't need. Like, this is the first time where I'm actually speechless because of a behavior or character did. Like, in Heaven's Secret, usually we had this character that was a Karen, extremely dramatic. She wasn't capable to play her cards right, and this is exactly what our character also did in, like, the first season and the first half of the second season. But now that we've entered the Dark Ages, sort of, she's actually scaring me. Like, the way her thoughts go, she's fine with manipulating, with being a compulsive liar, everything. This is tragic. I'm wondering how far our character is willing to go in order to get what she wants. She has made it perfectly clear that she's extremely head over heels for that fucking book. She wants to translate it so badly, and she's willing to go through those lengths.
How else can I convince you?
It's the fact she's crying. It's the fact she's crying. Girl, what are you doing to yourself? Pulling free from her grasp, I took her hands in mine and knelt beside her. I won't tell anyone. We're friends after all. Are we? But you have to stop these experiments. She sniffled and collapsed against my chest, stroking her hair. I can suppress a satisfied smile. I can't. Yo. Tragic. What is wrong with her? Of course you won't stop, but you'll become more dependent because I'll be the only one who knows your little secret.
God, I can't. It was a one-time thing. I wasn't going to do anything else. Just don't tell anyone. Don't even talk about it.
There was a knock on the door, and without waiting for an answer, the doctor appeared on the threshold.
One of some soldiers are asking for you. They want to go with them. Is everything alright?
No, nothing's alright. Yes, Donovan sent them.
The professor, what does she want from you?
I'm about to find out. The professor's office carried a nauseatingly stale scent of lemon balm. Last time I hadn't noticed it, but at that moment, with my nerves stretched thin in anticipation of a conversation, every little thing made me sick.
How's Anna?
She's already feeling better. Donovan nodded as she snapped shut a thick folder bearing the Siberia logo. Standing up, she nudged the computer chair toward me. The broken wheels stretched unpleasantly, scraping against the tile.
Sit down. I'll stand.
Settling into the chair, I took in the professor's strange behavior. She drew the curtain, inspected the corners, and only then approached me ready to talk. Is there someone off the base she's afraid of? Reading the question in my eyes, she smirked.
Do you find it odd that since you woke up in Rotkov, you've encountered so few immortals? I think most of them are watching us from the shadows, so something as small as closed curtains won't hurt.
I remained silent, unsure of what to say.
Did you bring the book? Hand it over.
I'll give it up willingly. Apparently that's the right choice. I can't forget where I am. Right now I'm sitting in Donovan's office, brought here by her soldiers, not the other way around. Yeah. So I need to act accordingly to the situation. If she wants the book, she'll get it one way or another. I just need to decide how much I'll suffer in the process. Reluctantly, I grabbed the brundage cover from my backpack and handed her this volume. I wanted to sink my teeth into her fingers and gnaw them to the bone. Damn. I'm sorry, does the book have such a powerful influence on the people that hold it? Because why else would she be that fucking obsessed with that book? The only thing that she's getting is more questions and more things, more mysteries to unfold. But it doesn't actually give her closure of her past. It doesn't help her move better in the present. It's just a wild goose chase with that fucking book. And apparently every single human being on this earth that is left, that hasn't turned into one of these abominations, wants that fucking book. And the second that someone has it, they get extremely obsessed over it. CAIN as well in the beginning. The other two immortals. Now our character.
Quite the hefty book. Someone put a lot of effort into it.
Flipping through it with little interest, she snapped it shut.
Have you ever thought about what will happen to humanity when you finish the translation? Or what might occur if we follow every instruction written inside?
As far as I can tell, the book offers us a way to get rid of the abominations or whatever brought them into our world.
This is a lovely fairy tale. The winged ones should have labeled the cover Utopia for Dummies. At least that would have been amusing.
I don't quite understand what you're implying.
The god who created mortals wouldn't have done anything in the interest of human slaves.
Tossing the book onto the table, she clasped her hands behind her back and paced the room in thought.
The Book of the Apocalypse isn't meant to save us in the general sense. Most likely it's just a reset button. What if the final result is the erase of all human memories regarding mortals? Are you ready to forget everything?
I sank into the chair, realizing I had overlooked something so obvious. The professor's words made me doubt everything. They sounded too plausible.
I'm surprised. I'm glad. That means the book hasn't mentioned anything like this yet. I wondered if you might be hiding something, but it seems you're still on humanity's side. And the 3 lost years hadn't turned you into a monster.
Did she call me here just to test me? But where do these thoughts come from? What triggered this distrust towards the book?
I've been thinking about it for a long time, but when I saw the spirit, it became obvious that it was all complete bullshit. Maybe it will help eliminate the abominations as a system glitch, but it's not a weapon of retribution. It's disposable like a toothpick. It won't take down an army of immortals.
Is there even a need for that? Shaking her head, the professor sighed wearily.
When the need hits, there won't be time for discussion. Everything in this world needs to be done in advance.
In that case, what do you want from me?
Stop translating the book, or lie about what's written in it. I want humanity to return to its former place at the feet of the immortals.
Well, girl, but sooner or later there won't be any humanity left with all these fucking abominations showing up. Suddenly there was a sharp sound. Soft feathers struck the glass and disappeared just as quickly. The fuck? Forgetting about me, Donovan rushed to the window, pulling the fabric aside. She scanned the area nervously. Taking advantage of the moment, I slid closer to the desk and pulled out a photograph that had slid from the folder when she'd shut it. Damn. Quickly tucking it back inside, I sat back down. The angel. Now it makes sense why he was wearing a hospital gown. The folder had the Siberia logo. That means he was one of the subjects the base experimented on. But why did he come to my room? Would they really have released him after years of torture? No, he might have escaped. But since when does Donovan hide from immortals who aren't part of the unit? Could it be that she was actually hoping to see this immortal? Did she lose her test subject and now wants to find him? Violin flew past the window, sighing in frustration. Donovan pulled the curtain shut and returned to the desk. Her mood had noticeably soared. This is the first time I've seen her so shaken. Maybe this is my chance to break through her shell? I need to come up with something quick. Lie, find a way to make her believe me. Actually, there is something in the book that confuses me. Raising her head, Donovan arched a brow. My words barely seemed to interest her. It mentions an angel who was tortured by humans.
What exactly does it say?
It's hard to say. I got the impression that he might interfere with humanity finding peace, seek revenge. But why? Who tortured him? I cast my line. All I could do was wait for a reaction. She might shut me out and end the conversation, but there was a chance she'd want to ask more. If so, I could learn something new.
What do you mean by impression? You're not reading at T levels. You're translating a specific text. What did it actually say?
To decipher it, I need reference points. I can't just invent the meaning of every word. If I knew more about this angel, I could match words to his past and using the translated text understand what's written about the future. That's how it works. Donovan fell silent. She smirked and lit a cigarette and exhaled the smoke. She stood by her desk for a few minutes, silently smoking and staring at the floor. Lost in thought, the moments dragged on painfully. Then she stopped out the cigarette and looked at me.
So if you find out more about him, you will tell me what the book predicts for him?
Yes, but unfortunately, knowledge doesn't just fall from the sky.
I'll give you a choice. Do as I say and live peacefully, or do as I say and then rot at the bottom of a cliff somewhere.
Not understanding what Donovan was proposing, I blurted out. Your choices are as merciful as your politics. Period. Rotting at the base of a cliff doesn't sound appealing.
And do what it takes to live in peace. I have no interest in harming you needlessly.
Standing in front of me, she handed over the folder.
I'll share a secret, but from now on, you're no longer part of the squad. You'll translate the book exclusively for me. Understood?
Not finding any worse, I mumbled something unintelligible. She accepted that response. After all, I had nowhere else to go.
Listen carefully. My story will be
detailed. Please.
Without an advantage, we'll never rise from our knees. We need to know what the immortals know, or better yet, uncover what even they don't.
I have the feeling that we're tackling into some insanity shit, because actually tying down an immortal and experimenting on them, like taking something of theirs, like that makes part of who they are, to the point where they exsanguinate, and then they use some unwilling subjects, as in humans, and they, I don't know, implant some supernatural shit into their system, hoping that they will turn them into immortals, in order to make humans resistant to immortals' attacks, or just make them resistant against some sickness or something, is fucked up.
It all started as a area, a base controlled by the Order. Even before the cataclysm began, they were seeking any proof of the immortals' existence. When the first disasters started, one of them came down to us. He said more like him would come soon, and he gave us a weapon for protection, a type of poison unlike anything on Earth.
Ah, the thing that can kill the immortals, I think?
I suspect he acted in the interest of whoever started this apocalypse business in heaven. Someone desperately needed to shake the foundation of the world, and we simply took advantage.
Well, look at this. Look at the immortal in the background and them smiling as if it's the best day of their life. I hate them all.
To help us understand how the poison worked, the immortals gave us the body of one of his kind to experiment on. It was like a rag doll.
Damn.
We decided to name this project Adam after the first man of Earth.
All we knew about him was that he'd lost something crucial long ago, and no matter what experiments we performed, he'd never awaken. And because he never awakened, apparently that's an excuse for all the BS they pulled. Ha ha ha, you're funny. That his body continues to function and respond to stimuli. Honestly, I have the feeling that he had put himself in the mental state of mind where he's watching everything from afar. I'm pretty sure I told you all about this in previous episodes. There are times when you are that mentally done with your life that you it's kind of like you are there, like you're physically in the present, but your mind is like far away, not connected to your body anymore. And it's like you're watching yourself as a third person. You know where you stand, but your mind is like watching. Your mind is out of your body, sort of. It's like you are seeing yourself as a third party because you have that much going on. That's a different way of shielding yourself from further damage, whether it's physical or mental pain. And in my eyes, that's what he did. If I'm not connected to my body anymore, I can't feel physical pain anymore. And if you aren't connected with your physical body, it's kind of like you can walk away, you know? You don't see anything, you don't hurt, no nothing. It's the fact that they actually offered someone to be bait and they decided to experiment on him as if it's the best thing in the world. What happened to him? That's irrelevant, Emma. Immortal? Oh, heck no. Of course it would be him. I forgot this damn name. Vincenzo? No, that's not Vincenzo. No, you all know who it is, right? Like, he was brought back by plague. Also the one that was fine with working together with Malbonte in season 3 of Heaven's Secret. If the old rumors are to be believed, it was just a ban of family squabble. We found his body recently. He'd been stuck like this for hundreds of years. Don't worry, we've checked everything. He won't cause any problem. I need him to die. Literally. We didn't know how immortals descended to Earth until I witnessed it myself one day. I was practicing on a snowmobile when I happened to spot a burst of energy, then a winged silhouette vanished into it. I believe I saw something resembling a portal. It became clear there was a way to travel between our worlds. So do the abominations come the same way? Don't they come out of rifts? That's not certain, but most likely at some depth. Each rift once open as a portal, which means humans could potentially access heaven as well. There's something specific triggers to process. A passkey is built into immortals, allowing them to descend to us and return above. Humans lack this key. We can't descend. Figuratively speaking, heaven's gates are closed because we don't meet the dress code. But what if I told you I discovered the location of this key, even extracted it from the immortal's body? And in doing so, I revived an immortal who heaven had given up upon. Here, on Earth? That sounds unbelievable. Not that the winged ones are capable of new discoveries, but humans are still hungry for knowledge. Our fate isn't appealing to us, after all. Escaping hell is far more motivating than gaining entry to heaven. But really, how? How did you manage it? On the day the base got destroyed, I fled, taking our project. Lyot made a tough decision, sure that inspections would soon come to Siberia, and we didn't want any leaks. Amazingly, crashing my snowmobile in the woods allowed me to find information that pushed Adam to the next level. The professor pointed at the folder opening it, recognized a familiar diagram. In the forest where I crashed, there stood a town. You know it well. Hiding the project, I eventually found people. We had typically avoided that area. I stayed there a while, stumbling upon the local cult and their writings. They seemed to want to assemble an immortal like a puzzle. Or perhaps create a vessel for someone's soul. Who knows what's in the fevered minds of fanatics? Takes one to know one. But that's beside the point. Their diagrams always depicted a core at the center of an immortal. That core was absent in human diagrams. I became curious whether I had a physical form. Reaching Oxford, I built a new base piece by piece, relying on old connections and knowledge from our past world. My God. I desperately searched for this core and eventually found it, not in the rag doll, but in someone else. Few mortals were around, and capturing one alive was difficult, but I had the chance when the others went searching for the Book of the Apocalypse with the squad. She's talking about Ada. Before going to Rotkov, Pylon protected her so Donovan didn't dare touch her. Inserted the core I found into the first subject. After so many years without a sign of consciousness, the angel opened his eyes. Well, do you still wish to cover? Don't you need answers? Simona, with enough effort and cooperation, we could carve out our independence. Donovan's speech left me stunned. It was one of those rare moments when new information turned everything upside down so thoroughly that it required time to process. I just can't grasp it. I didn't think there was anything left that could still surprise me. I looked at my trembling hands. I felt breathless. Pleased by my reaction, Donovan smiled indulgently. Is this backstory enough for your translation? Unable to form words, I nodded nervously. Stop being so scared. You're shaking like a leaf. Go grab some rations from storage and have a proper meal. But don't stall. You're working for me now. I can't. This is savage. She said, I'm gonna tell you what you need to know in order to translate the book, but from now on, you will only translate it for me, like no one else needs to know. I nodded, lifted my backpack, and left the office on shaky legs. CAIN, I need your services. Walking through Adam's grim halls, all I could think about was how Donovan would never let me out of her sight from that moment on. Moreover, from then on, freedom was out of the question. Neither my desires nor my goal to understand what happened to me 3 years ago mattered anymore. My suspicion was confirmed by the 2 soldiers trailing me from the moment I left the professor's office. Accepting this wasn't an option. She let me go, knowing I now hold her secret. It's stupid, but Donovan's no fool. She's testing me, seeing if I'll run to someone and reveal what I know. I don't need trouble, so I keep my distance. But I can't last long like this. If I manage to escape, I'll need a map to navigate. From now on, the main thing is to act naturally, so these 2 muckleheads don't get suspicious. I love it. Entering my room, I prayed no one would be inside, but fate decided to mock me. Simona, are you done with the book? Glancing at the soldiers idly flipping books by the door, I gave a vague response. Yes, I just needed something here. What are you doing here? I thought you'd be helping the patrol. Donovan made sure to keep me busy. I'm figuring out what might have happened to the moon and trying to estimate where the seismic activity will peak. Yeah, tell me more about the peak? The professor latched on to what I said about underground tremors a while ago. She seemed convinced we can predict the appearance of the abominations. And where is the place approximately? I'm not completely sure yet, but it's somewhere to the northeast. Just like Rotkov. The crack in the moon? We still haven't figured out the cause of the crack. According to a report shared by a friend, something happened in our universe invisible from Earth. See if a Malum came. Hello. It triggered changes, and the main maker of those changes is the crack in our planet's satellite. Invisible from Earth. Maybe mortals could tell me more. Did she say anything about the endless night?
That's not her field, so I wouldn't swear by it. But according to her assumptions, the sun was blocked by a layer of dust.
Darkness. What do you mean layer of dust? From where was that dust supposed to come from?
The moon, as the coldest celestial body to Earth, continues to reflect the light of the sun, but it appears red due to the dust particles. When sunlight passes through it, the light weakens and changes color.
Your other tasks? Asking my questions, I searched with my eyes for the city map Greg had marked up during our trip to the Order members' mansion.
Other task, I'd be happy just to finish this one.
Greg began lifting folders, looking for something else interesting. Beneath one of them, I spotted the map book I needed. The soldiers, bored by our chatter, began talking between themselves. Using the opportunity, I quietly slipped the map book into my backpack. Maybe I should leave a note for the squad just in case something happens to me. Grabbing a pen and a scrap of paper from the desk, I quickly scribbled. Don't trust Donovan. Period. We say, oh, you want me to actually help you translate the book? Don't worry, I'll help you translate the book, but this is what happens, bitch. I stuffed it under the last folder and quickly stood up.
I have to go to the warehouse. Donovan generously allowed me a food ration and even provided guards.
Provided. As if we are actually fine with the guards. Nodding toward the muscleheads, I smiled awkwardly. Greg narrowed his eyes suspiciously, and for a moment I thought he'd catch my lie, but then he sighed and tried to smile.
Sure, go ahead.
He ain't dumb. I'm pretty sure he's tagging along, like he's just playing. He's like, okay, fine, but I'm keeping my eye on them. The soldiers courteously escorted me to the warehouse. After watching me receive my rations and thermos with hot tea, they stepped back again and resumed trailing behind. I could never. I would be so extremely uncomfortable. Wandering through the corridors, I tried to gather my thoughts. The warm thermos in my hands was comforting, but the heavy footsteps of the soldiers trailing behind me ruined everything. Me. As soon as I step into my room, they'll lock me up, isolating me until Donovan wants to see me again. Will I be able to find out how many looters are in the area, or where outside the base I can find food or warm clothes? Thinking over my options, I noticed movements in the square where several groups of soldiers had gathered. Donovan's definitely planning something big. Whatever the book holds, salvation or death, I won't be her pet. Me. Like, I think this is strange in general. First, she told us not to translate the book, and then she's like, okay, you're gonna translate the book, but only for me. I feel like this was her plan all along. Like, just getting or intel on the fucking book, and when she realized that we actually had the key in order to translate the book, she's like, okay, keep my friends close, but my enemies closer. She views us as a necessary evil in order to get what she wants from the book. And the second she has that, she's gonna get rid of us because, you know, she can't have anyone spoiling or ruining her plans. Lost in thought, I didn't know the soldiers approaching. One of them placed a hand on my shoulder, signaling me to stop. Hello?
Donovan, I was supposed to escort you to your room. You've been wandering for too long.
The fuck? The fuck?
Tell Donovan to mind her own fucking business. So we're actually gonna be locked up until we manage to translate the book. And as long as we are not capable to do that, we can't leave our room.
Oh, fuck no. Hell no. Can we leave, like, immediately? Like, this is actually circling you in. Cutting off your air supply. She said I could think.
Yes, in your room.
What did I say? His grip tightened, and I clutched my backpack closer.
Where are you hiding in there?
Realizing there was no way out, I splashed hot tea in the soldier's face. Period. Like, leave me be. I'm sorry, like the fuck. You actually think that roughness is gonna get you anywhere?
Oh, you bitch.
Breaking free, I dashed forward, trying to figure out the safest place to hide. Like the fuck. Leave me be. This is something I would have done. Like, The second I feel circled in, I either scream or I'm gonna act impulsively. And since screaming wouldn't have used anything, and this man already was testing my patience with trying to grab my shoulders and shit, I would have used the T as well. As soon as I reached the square, all the radios, including mine, crackled with the same message. Don't let the woman with the white backpack escape. The fuck? Dozens of eyes turned to me. Well, there's nowhere to hide on the base now. I can only run, but how can I break through the perimeter? There are soldiers everywhere. Forcing my mind to think clearly, I searched desperately for a useful idea. Chaotic thoughts drowned each other out. The soldiers moved toward me and I ran forward, trying to buy time. Damn, the patrols are fighting the abominations over there. It's crawling with those things. I'm sorry, sadly, this is something I have to say. Sometimes the most dangerous places are the safest ones. Run through the abominations. We can control them after all. And I think they're extremely underestimating our willpower. If you get too much up in my fucking personal space, don't think I'm not gonna be petrified of actually giving myself up. I'm walking in the face of danger. They're either gonna tear me apart or they're gonna fucking turn me. Because apparently that's still an option for us. Because of the thing that we have in our wrist. Don't think I'm not gonna actually offer myself. Without me, no one is gonna be capable to translate the fucking book. You won't give me air to breathe. You will cut off my air supply. Only me working for you, and when you get what you want from me, I'm no longer of any use and you're gonna get rid of me as if I'm some dead weight? No. Running that thought again, I raised my eyebrows in surprise. That's it, the perfect place to escape and blend in. I sprinted even faster. Oh my god, is she actually gonna do that? Reaching the perimeter, I saw the general and Jan firing at the spawn, along with everyone else. The abomination's red eyes didn't scare me nearly as much as the pursuing crowd. That, like the fuck. Death is gonna be a lot less painful than what they are gonna do to me. Like the fuck. Imagine that your life is actually in someone else's hands. The second you do something they don't approve of, they're gonna get rid of you no matter what. Approaching the barricade, I pushed off the sandbags and leaped over under their astonished eyes. Look at Dimitri. Yeah, you see what's gonna happen to me, huh? Landing among the abominations, I heard gunshots behind me. Period. What did I say? Oh my gosh, she's thinking like me. Like, the most dangerous place is the safest one. Path of Devil's Whisper. Shield me, period. What did I say? We can't control... No, y'all. Did I read the story? The abominations obeyed my command, blocking me from gunfire and hiding my retreating silhouette. I love it. Moving forward with the last of my strength, I tried to get as far away as possible. Bye, bitches! Honestly, I'm living my best life. Donovan's thinking she's holding all the cards. The fuck? When the gunfire behind me finally died down, I took shelter in one of the ruined houses, catching my breath. Asked CAIN to hide the spear in the cathedral. I need to find him. Maybe I'll be able to meet him there. Pulling the guidebook from the backpack, I managed to locate the right street and headed out, relying on street signs. The harsh wind roamed among the identical buildings, lashing against my cheeks. I was trying to escape the concrete prison. Occasionally, pairs of abominations flew overhead. I knew exactly where they were headed, to the base. The map was full of notes made by Greg. I should check them out. They might be useful. Greg had carefully transferred all his notes to the first page, so figuring them out wasn't difficult. His markings helped me avoid places that had long since been blocked, like the old shopping mall or large open squares. There were hardly any infected inside. They mostly appeared when I got too close to residential buildings. Then their vein-covered bodies slammed against windows, desperately trying to get to me. I had to flee, hoping they'd stay behind. A girl, you can't control them. How else would you have been capable to tell them to shield you because of the gunfire? Moving down block after block, I gradually approached the cathedral. Once its collapsed dome was visible, I returned to the guidebook to my backpack and stuck my hands in my pockets trying to warm them. I couldn't open the tall wooden doors and had to find another entrance inside the building. It quickly became clear that there was no way to get in easily. Every passage or weak spot in the masonry was barricaded from the inside, leaving no chance to slip through. After an hour of searching and circling around, I returned to the main entry. I found a metal rod resembling a crowbar and wedged it beneath one of the doors. With effort, I managed to create a tiny gap. No way I'm crawling through this, that's crazy. But as night fell, the wind grew colder, leaving me no choice. Taking off my outer layers, I placed them on my backpack near the entrance, then pushed my head through the gap and exhaled. If my head fit, the rest of me would follow. My shoulders slipped through, then my hips, and finally I was fully inside the cathedral. Breathing a sigh of relief, I pulled my backpack in after me and quickly put my clothes back on to warm myself. Suddenly I heard a sharp noise behind me. Before I could turn, a hand closed tightly around my throat, immobilizing me. What? Not the immortal? Oh my god, is he also love and Why? And why is this such a cute picture? I am weak. Honestly, the mystery is so attractive. The darkness has never been so appealing, has it? We meet again. Are you stalking me? And my memories, you were never here. How did you find this place? Let me go. I have no idea who you are or what you're talking about. No, what did you do to me last time? Huh? Nothing. I don't believe you. And I don't care if you believe me or not. Struggling to break free, I tried to focus on one thought. Path of Devil's Whisper. Ooh, not the red eyes. But just then, the angel tightened his grip on my throat and I began to cough, losing focus. Weak but interesting. Beneath the layer of blood, the face was hard to make out, but here, in that place that looked like hell, I remember a vague image of a woman. Pathetically chained, torment and suffering. Weakness of body and spirit is natural for humans. Could an ordinary, normal human have endured that? Why did they torture you so cruelly? Huh? My lips trembled, not from the cold or fear, but from the painful anticipation of the truth that had been hidden from me until now. Who? The master of the dungeon, the father of lies. Huh? What? So the one that controls CAIN has been experimenting on us. That's why we feel such a connection to CAIN, perhaps. Oh, hell no. What is this? Why? And why always at the last second? I hate every single one of you, but next episode is gonna be interesting. Come on now. I'm happy that we're seeing his fine ass again. But we will see what next episode will be like. I hope you enjoyed this video with me. Tell me in the comments below what you think was best, and I will see you in another video. Bye.